This market is crazy. How do I make sense of it? Should I sell my home now? Will it sell? Should I wait? If I sell, what will I replace it with? How do I buy a home in this market? How do I find the right agent? These are the questions you need answered if you're looking to sell or buy a home in today's Northwest Houston market. These questions are particularly challenging because the present market has no precedent, no basis for making decisions that one could use as a guide. Sellers, buyers, realtors, economists, and market experts, no one had experienced the market we've lived in over the last 4 years. Why is this the case? How did we get here? It all started in 2020. The global pandemic of COVID changed our way of life with everything from schools to restaurants, all public gatherings, sports and entertainment events being shut down. Even houses of worship were not immune, as churches and mosques were also shut down. Never before in modern life had the world been shut down so quickly and without warning. In many states, including Texas, only personnel for businesses deemed essential for the critical infrastructure of the society and personnel for essential government functions were allowed to move about somewhat freely. Real estate agents and their services fell into this deemed essential category, thereby underscoring the value and importance of your home. The shutdown of businesses and abrupt change of lifestyle triggered a deep economic downturn and disrupted the financial markets. In order to stimulate the economy and prevent a dire situation from turning much worse, the Fed made many aggressive moves, including cutting the federal funds rate in March of 2020. Thus, in 2020, according to bank rate data, mortgage interest rates hit all-time historical lows, with the 30-year fixed rate diving to just under 3% and averaging an incredibly low 3.38% for the year. Buyers rushed into the market and gobbled up the homes for sale. Many now needed homes with home offices since they were now forced to work from home due to the pandemic, while others who always dreamed of owning a home but could not afford one now could, as interest rates made previously unaffordable homes affordable. Houston, with its policy of no income tax, lower cost of living, the low median price per square foot for homes, had a huge migration of buyers from California and other states, adding to demand. In fact, according to Houston Public Media of the University of Texas, the Houston region saw the second largest population surge in the whole U.S., with an increase of more than 124,000 residents from 2021 to 2022. Dallas-Fort Worth, another Texas metro area, saw the largest surge. Demand quickly outpaced supply, leading to a massive hike in home prices and never before seen outrageous bidding wars taking place for homes, all the way up into and through 2022. Fast forward to November of 2023, mortgage rates were hovering at over 7%. The Fed had to slow down the economy that had been primed up. Inflation was running amok, and in 2022, the Fed put forward an aggressive series of interest rate hikes, 7 in all, as it tried to slash price increases by slowing the economy and choking demand. There were 4 more interest rate hikes in 2023, thus 11 total interest rate hikes in 2 years. So, in just about 4 short years, we saw interest rates, a major factor in the buying and selling of homes, move from under 3% in early 2020 to well over 7% by 2023. We also saw home prices soar uncontrollably. Things finally look like they've settled down, with a degree of normalcy returning to the market, but with the ongoing Russia-Ukraine conflict and the breaking out of war in Israel, many feel like this is just a pause in the madness. We see a paralysis into inactivity, with sellers and buyers asking themselves, what's next? My name is Kufre Udoh, team lead for your 7-client team at REMAX Universal. Now we have an understanding of how we got here and where we are. The next logical question then becomes, how do you navigate this market? How do you ensure you don't make a mistake that will bring you financial grief and plague you for a very long time? Knowing the problem is half the battle. With the brief history you've just heard explaining how we got here, you're in a better position than most. Here are the 3 secrets you need to know to successfully buy or sell your home in Northwest Houston. A word of caution, there are no guarantees in real estate. You could understand all outlined here and still suffer loss. I am, however, of the notion that these secrets will give you the highest probability of making the right decision. Secret number 1, the most important of the secrets. Everything else feeds off of this one secret. We're talking classified information here, folks. This secret is so very important and so very beneficial to you that it will take a little time to share the facts with you. This is the secret. Make the decision to sell or buy your home yourself. What do I mean by this? Don't home sellers and buyers make the decision to sell or buy their homes themselves? On one level, the surface level, yes. But on a deeper level, that decision is influenced by outside factors, the most notorious of which is the news. Get your eyes off of the market. Decide what you and your family want, then and only then look to the market. How is the market is the number one question we face. This opens the door wide open for the market to control your decisions. Hearing the market is challenging very well could immediately stop you in your tracks. The right, albeit difficult question to ask yourself is, do I want to sell or buy now? And after you have made your decision, you can now ask the question, how is the market? Coupled with another question, how do I navigate this market in light of my decision? Now you're cooking with grease. Besides the instances where you have no choice but to move, like a job transfer, and instances where you cannot afford to move, like affordability, most home moves are subjective. Here are a few examples of why moves take place. You're a family of 5 living in a 3-bedroom home, and you just had a new baby. You need more space. A parent can no longer live on their own, and you need them to come live with you. You need more space. Your children have grown and left the home. You need less space. Or perhaps you want your children to go to a particular school not zoned to where you presently live. Or maybe your home has appreciated considerably. You have always wanted to travel the world. You can now sell, take the equity out of your home, and start your travels. Even the most simple of reasons, like you don't like your neighborhood anymore and want to move, are okay. It just has to be your decision. I cannot emphasize this enough. Now examine these reasons to move in light of the news. You want to move for any of the aforementioned reasons. Then you look at the news, fear sets in, and you decide not to move. As realtors, we see this all the time. What you now have happening is fear, and the news are running your household, not you. I promise you, you do not want fear governing your life. If the general news were neutral, reporting news for the pure sake of informing you of the facts, then you could base your decisions on the information they provide. Unfortunately, we live in a fallen world. News outlets want to expand their viewer bases. Bad news and fear sell a lot better than good news. I've heard it said that news companies actually hold back positive news. If it bleeds, it leads is the often repeated maxim of the news outlets. Let me elaborate further. Let's take the example of the reason to move being needing a larger place to accommodate your parent. Your deepest value is that you want to honor your parents by taking care of them. You are determined to do this. But you look at the news and listen to their take on the market. Fear and confusion step in, and you decide to wait. Your decision to wait was not your decision, but you were dissuaded from your noble, value-based intent by the news. Many are not living by their choices, but by the dictates of circumstances as told to them by others with their own agendas. Here's a practical, hypothetical example to help us make better sense of this. Take a look at this high school in Cyprus. If it were reported by the news outlet that the best teachers in the world had been recruited to the school, and a new revolutionary teaching methodology had been introduced that led to 93% of the students scoring between 1,500 and 1,600 on the SAT test, how far around the country do you think this fantastic news would go? If, on the other hand, heaven forbid, the news outlets report that a horrible shooting took place here, the whole nation would know of it in just a short period of time. Christians tell the world that God, out of love, sent his son Jesus to die for the sins of the world and save everyone who would believe in him. We call this the gospel, meaning good news. Yet still, relatively so very few people believe and accept this. In fact, the Bible says, "Wide is the gate and broad is the road that leads to destruction, and many enter through it. But small is the gate and narrow the road that leads to life, and only a few find it." It seems this concept on the attractiveness of bad versus good news is like a law that reaches even into the spirit realm. The first and most important secret to winning in this market is making the decision on whether to sell, buy, or hold yourself with no outside influences. Understanding what making a decision means is key also. Decision is defined as a conclusion or resolution reached after consideration. Making a decision is about cutting off choices, cutting you off from any other course of action other than the one chosen by you. Now that might sound a little severe and limiting, but it is not. It's actually liberating and will steady you through the journey of the home selling and buying process. You make the decision. This leads us perfectly into secret number 2, courage. You have made the decision to sell, buy, or hold. You need the courage to stand behind your convictions. You need the courage to stand behind your decision. Many factors and people with different agendas will try to dissuade you from your decision. They would much rather you make a decision that's more in their best interest, not yours. Here is where courage comes in. You will need to face down all opposition to your decision. Be bold, and mighty forces will come to your aid. Your neighbors, friends, co-workers, and even family members have all listened to the bad news and are now advising you against your decision. They will be sincere and persistent in their efforts because they care about you. However, they are most often wrong as they form their opinions from the general, sensationally bad news. You will need courage to let them know you have made your decision. How then do you make the right decision? The right decision needs to be made absent of fear, greed, and pride. Greed and pride are internal ailments, challenges, and go beyond the scope of this video to address. However, examine yourself prayerfully, truthfully, and carefully, and the telltale signs that you are under their influence will be made known to you. Here is where family members, friends, co-workers, and those close to you could prove to be an invaluable asset. They know you and are close enough to you to point these things out. Faithful are the wounds of a friend. Fear, on the other hand, originates externally. It can be tamed. It is tamed with information. Facts alleviate fear. The 3 biggest fears in the present marketplace are: 1, where are mortgage rates headed? 2, where are home values headed? And 3, is a recession coming around the corner? It's good for you to know the answer to these questions after you have decided to buy or sell your home. We address these questions in a video entitled "The 3 Biggest Fears in the Present Real Estate Market and How to Overcome Them." Watch this if you've decided you want to sell or buy a home. A little more on fear before we look at the final point. I hate fear. It's everywhere around us, feeds on itself, and spreads like wildfire. I have never liked any destination I arrived at from a fear-based decision. Fear is a thief, and it's robbed us of oh so very much. When you start thinking about selling or buying, you will invariably become attuned to the news regarding real estate. News outlets are very good at getting their scandalous, often biased news in front of you. This will lead to concerns. Concerns lead to fear, and fear leads to panic and paralysis. The greatest antidote to fear is love. There is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear. The family that needs more room out of love for each other will face all fears and get a larger home. The romantics that got married but now live in a home that one of them owned in a prior life without the other can now fearlessly get a home together, deepening their joy and union. You can honor the parent you wish to by banishing your fears and getting a larger home and having them move in with you. Decide if you would like to move, then courageously and fearlessly move. Secret number 3, choose a good realtor. You will need an expert to guide you through the journey. A good realtor is worth their weight in gold and will be your greatest ally. It's, however, very important that you understand the agency relationship before choosing your realtor. You are the principal, the realtor is your agent. You are the decision maker, you make the decisions. You should not delegate this responsibility. When you choose to hold, the realtor does not typically get paid, as our income primarily is based on results. Realtors get paid when a home is bought or sold. Thus, it's of the utmost importance you resolve if to buy or sell before involving your realtor. The realtor's primary job is not to decide for you, but to carry out the decision that you have made. This is a very important distinction. That being said, your local realtor will supply you with the most current and relevant data you need to effectively carry out your decision. He or she will help you understand the market and the news. Economists will tell you that there are leading and lagging indicators in any market. The information you receive from a good, competent realtor will be fresh and cutting edge. We are on the front lines and have the pulse on the market. Realtors have access to buyer and seller sentiments, the most current neighborhood prices, the terms of each recorded transaction, and much, much more. I classify the information that comes from local realtors as leading indicators. Lagging indicators are metrics that confirm change rather than predict it. News outlets and online portals like Zillow get their information after the fact or on a much slower basis. I classify them as lagging indicators. Realtors will also, among their responsibilities to you, warn and advise you of potential pitfalls to avoid, handle all the intricate transactional details that accompany the selling and buying of your home, remind you of your why when you forget, and stand by you through the tumultuous parts of the transaction. So, how do you pick the right realtor? This is both science and art. Examine their reputation and results. You'll be with them for an extended period of time. Ensure your personalities mesh for the task at hand. Visit howweserveyou.com to see how we work. And if you sense that we are a fit, give us a call at 832-544-2158 or drop us a line at info@your7clientteam.com. Thank you for taking the time to listen. The 3 simple steps are: 1. Decide by yourself based on your circumstances whether to sell or buy your home. 2. Back your decision up with courageous resolve. And 3. Pick a good realtor to guide you through the process and to the finish line. If you have decided to sell or buy a home, we would love to walk with you through the process. If, on the other hand, this is not the time, but you would like to consider us when that time does come, subscribe to this channel and follow your 7 Client Team on any other of our social media platforms. When you are ready, reach out to us. It's been a pleasure preparing this for and talking to you. Thank you very much.